Afternoon, the YouTubes. Today we're talking about scatter guns. So, in the age of assault weapons, as Nancy Pelosi would say, why are we even talking about old 1800s, or arguably even earlier than that technology, scatterguns, shotguns? Well, there's a few reasons you might have a shotgun. First reason, the reason that I have this shotgun, is they're a great tool. You can use it to take game all the way from a squirrel or a dove up to a deer and everything in between. There's an appropriate load that this gun will take to take that game. You can use it for breaching, you can use it for signaling, you can use it for less than lethal options. Shotgun is the most versatile weapon. So versatile that it's arguably a tool just as much as it is an actual firearm. So that is why I have this firearm. Now, even though it's not necessarily, in my opinion, in my armory, there to be a primary tactical option, it can be used in a gunfight, 100%. This will take varmint of the two-legged variety all day long. Okay, so because it can work in that, I'm gonna have some kit to go along with it. Even if it's not what I'm gonna have, I can take all of this, pass it off to somebody, and now what would be an empty set of hands is it quite capably equipped. All right. The second biggest reason you might be running a shotgun is because you're poor. Hey man, it is what it is. We can't all be Bill Gates. You know, this is all cheap, which is another thing. It's good to have cheap guns that you can pass off, you can leave behind, you can stash, and not cry about it. So I didn't fuck up this cheap shotgun with a bunch of expensive accessories. And you can do the same exact thing. If you're doing that because it's the best you can do, that's totally fine, right? If you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you just became a man, you're out on your own for the first time, and you're like, holy shit, I need some kit, I need a firearm, because I'm a big boy now, but I have exactly $0. Well, you can save up over a couple months and get everything that I have on for a very cheap price, okay? Talk more about that in a little bit. So, if you're poor, hook it up, bro. 12 gauge pump action all day long. All right. The third reason is that these pesky little drones in the sky these days. These goddamn Zoomers and their fucking conflabbit simulators and video games have all of us old millennial fuds worried. Okay, you guys got drones up in the air. What the hell's that about? I don't necessarily think that shotguns are like everybody in your squad or half the people in your squad should start running shotguns. But if you do have a larger group, if you've got 6+ dudes, maybe somebody should have a shotgun. If you've got somebody who's been bird hunting, Bubba's been bird hunting his whole life, right? And he's already got some badass sky pigeon destroyer, then let him run that. Fuck it. Do your thing, dude. You're already good at that. You already know that system. No need to fucking spend a bunch of time learning another system. Just rock that. It's already relevant in the modern combat, right? So, not everybody needs a shotgun, but it's not a terrible idea to have a shotgun around. So if that's you, you can see what I think you should do for the tactical shotgun setup. Very cool. See you boys and girls on the tabletop. What's up, killers? This here is a pump 12 gauge. Why a pump 12 gauge over semi-automatic? Pump 12 gauge is more reliable. You're going to be able to feed a wider variety of shells and cartridges through it without it needing to be tuned or set up or only be able to run one or the other. Generally speaking, a pump shotgun will run whatever the fuck you put through it all day long because you are the one cycling the action. You're not relying on the system to have the proper gassing or inertia to cycle that action for you. All right. I kept everything cheap here. It's good to have some cheap guns around. I've talked about this in some other videos, right? It's good to have guns to pass off. It's good to have guns to stage or take with you in a truck or hand off to a novice shooter and not be scared that he's going to fuck it up, right? So I didn't fuck up this cheap gun with a bunch of pricey expensiveness, right? We just have a Streamlight that I have had for many, many years here, taped onto the barrel, duct tape, and then some self-adhesive wrap around it as well to help keep it steady. That's strapped to the tube, so I can take this self-adhesive wrap off and then swap the barrels if I need to, and take the tube off or whatever, and the light is just attached to the tube. All right, running some cheap Velcro shot cards here. If I was actually out on patrol, I would probably remove this shot card on the buttstock or take the shells out. User preference, obviously. I like having it when it's staged to the house so I can have the most amount of rounds on the gun as possible. These shells are staged to be taken off like this and put into the action like so. That's how they're staged. These shells that probably would stay on the gun in a combat patrol are staged so that I can take them out when the action is back, put it in there, slide it forward. Cool? All right, rocking a 1-point sling. Generally, I advise against 1-point slings, but in this scenario, I don't want a sling up here that's going to possibly interfere with the racking of this slide. I want all of this front action of the gun to be completely free and unimpeded. No way I could get tangled. No way I could get snagged or caught up. I can freely cycle this gun all I need to. All right. It's tape on here just for camouflage, purple tape just for marking to indicate that it's mine. These rubber bands are here to help store this when it is just chilling next to the bedstand. Yeah, like I said, cheap gun. I'm not going to fuck it up with a bunch of expensive accessories. It definitely gets the job done. I'm having a fun time with it so far. All right, so this is fighting load carrier. First of all, again, all this stuff, cheap. If I was the primary shotgunner, I might not run a fighting load carrier. I might run a different system, a plate carrier, whatever the case is. But I do think when we get to talking about it, these canteen pouches are the fucking answer for carrying a bunch of shotgun shells. All right, so cheap fighting load carrier, canteen pouches all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Using 1 as an IFAK, 2 as actual canteen pouches, and 3 to carry our ammunition. We have a waist pack attached here in the back as like a butt pack. Just had a wool blanket wrapped around it to show you some of the capabilities of what you can do there. All this stuff was UCP print that I then dyed and spray painted. So you can get these things for literally, these pouches and these fighting load carriers for literally dollars. $5, $4, $7. All right. This is 2 boxes of 15 go in here, so that's 30 rounds. There's four different ways I put in here to carry ammo. This is 2 boxes of 15, so sometimes your shell comes in 15 round boxes. You can put 2 of those in there. Leave the boxes in if you want to. They help keep your shells nice and orderly. If you need to be able to label what they are, remember they are when you get back to patrol base. If you have OCD and you want it to be all stacked nice, there you go. What I would probably default to for the most part is just rounds loose in here. This is 40 rounds in a standard canteen pouch that fit very comfortably. Even if you ran this lid open, these aren't going to fall out a bunch. especially if you've already taken, 10 of their so are out of here. Probably not going to fall out anymore. So, there you go. Over here is a box of 25. Just a standard box of 25 that I took and plopped in there. And it fit like so. Right? So, just to give you an idea of how to carry, or how you can carry shells, right? 2 boxes of 15, 40 loose rounds, 1 box of 25. So there you are. Give yourself some ideas. What kind of rounds should you be carrying for the shotgun? Well, if you have any sort of specialty tasks or specialty rounds that we've kind of talked about previously, go for it. Absolutely have some of those around. But as a general standard, you should have some slugs, a bunch of buckshot, and a decent amount of foul loads. These are number 4, 3-inch Monarch. So number 4 shot, duck load, right? Anti-drone. That's shotguns, kids. If you're balling on a budget, or you're looking to take your hunting gun or your tool gun and turn it into a tactical piece of equipment that can be passed off, this is how I'm doing it. This is how I'd suggest you at least give it some good thought. See y'all next time.